Hey, beautiful mamas, with that wonderful intro, that is Calibre 50, Te Volvería a Elegir, one of my husband and my songs. And that was 2016 version of Carla and Christian on our wedding day, almost 10 years ago. That is crazy to think that we are about, God willing, to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. With that, I can transparently, honestly say that till this day, I think I'm honestly more in love with my husband. And the reason why I say that is because it's no longer surface level. We've been through storms together. He has seen me at my weakest, at my lowest. He has seen every flaw. He has seen, it's kind of like me opening up kind of like my securities, my wall, and letting him see every wound, every battle wound, every scar. And I've never done that before. So anyways, mamas, like I said, 10 years this September 3rd. And, like I said, marriage, yes, it does change with kids, but it shouldn't feel like something that's impossible. You can honestly, I think what you set your mind to and what you want to have done or what you want to accomplish, you can honestly do. Again, it's hard work. It is. Stress that. It is hard work, but it's not impossible. And honestly, you could form a solid foundation and something very beautiful with your partner. So with that, let me stress that I'm not a marriage and family therapist. I'm not a counselor. I do have my background in human services, and that's why, mamas, I have a strong passion for this community, helping mamas, trying to relay, be raw and honest and transparent with normal things, or sometimes maybe not so normal for some mamas, but realistic, that's a better word, of things that, go on in our mom era. So key factors that I've learned. Okay, let me name them and then I'll talk about them. Love language, petty arguments, feeling seen, valued, and loved, stress, we all have it, how you say it versus what you're saying. And before husband and wife or hubby and wife, you were, in my case, Carla and Christian. So with that, love language. I read a book that's called Love Languages, and honestly, that showed me a lot. I wanted to kind of force it on my husband to show his love how I show it to him. And in our case, we're very different in that. So I had to learn to really look past the way that I wanted to receive love and really see how my husband shows his love to me. And girl, was I missing that. So now, thankfully, we really pour into each other's cups, which I really recommend that book. It's called Five Love Languages. And that really helped us on how each one of us really demonstrates our love to each other. Petty arguments are just that. Arguing is going to happen. Disagreeing is going to happen. That's normal. The way you resolve, the way you try to really communicate, have those raw conversations. I say in Spanish, la verdad duele y incomoda. But you know what? The truth hurts and it's uncomfortable, but it's something that you have to do to move on and to really learn how each one is in certain situations, whether that's in a stressful environment, when it's chaos. Me, I'm kind of like the one that is getting anxiety, and my husband is cool and collected. So we really learned that, throughout those situations. Every single person wants to feel seen, valued, and loved. And I can promise you, when you really try to do that for your partner, you will see the difference. Be the difference. If you want your relationship to have X, Y, and Z, really start making those changes, one change at a time. Do something realistic. Don't try to overstretch yourself, with taking care of the kids and working or being at home or being the sports mom, so many different hats. One thing at a time, and I can promise you that you will see the change in your spouse as well. Stress, we all have it. Sometimes it seems like we have more stress than our partner, But again, it can be an assumption. It could feel that way, but if you really do see each other as a team, because your spouse shouldn't be your enemy. If you really see each other as a team, then communicate that, hey, you know what, today can you help me out with this? Or you know what, I'll help you out with this, to kind of balance, as much as you can. It's not perfect. Again, perfection does not exist. But again, you shouldn't feel like you're being swallowed. How you say it versus, the message overall. I'm big on this. And again, I have to take accountability, ladies. I don't always follow what I preach. So again, I'm learning as well under certain situations, the kind of like, reactions get the best of me, especially stress with the kids or whatnot. So I really try to remember, or else my husband reminds me, hey, you know what? I get it, but again. So you know what? We have to take accountability. We don't always want to admit it. Sometimes we want to point the finger, but we got to point the finger to ourselves if we really, really want to make it work. Again, another thing that I forgot to mention, ego. Leave your ego at the door. In your marriage, you should not have an ego because again, you are a partnership. You're a marriage, a partnership. You're trying to build a foundation. You're trying to build an empire. So egos, in my opinion, no te sirven para nada. They do not work for anything. You have to take yourself out of your shoes sometimes and try to see things from your spouse's side. If you have an ego, you're not able to do that. And last but not least, before husband and wife, you were, in my case, Carla and Christian. We had a life, we had friendships or family or whatnot. However you feel comfortable, do that. Give each other space. If you feel comfortable with hanging out with friends, whatever it is, maybe you're going with the family dates, with your girlfriends, whatever that is, him hanging out with his friends or family, however you guys choose to give that space to each other, don't compare. Every marriage is different. Then do that for each other because I could promise you, you're going to recharge and you're going to be able to pour into your marriage again. So again, mamas, I hope this helped. I hope you can relate in any way. Again, this is, strictly what I have learned in the almost 10 years that I have been married. And I can promise you, you can really build something beautiful with your spouse. Again, that little candle, that little light, don't let it dim. Make sure that candle stays on. The romance, if you're big on it, romance to me is important. So keep that spark with your partner. Okay, beautiful ladies, beautiful mamas. I hope you guys have a blessed Wednesday and see you in the next episode.